Howdy folks, Smokey here, or as some of you know me, Seresta. Welcome to YouTube Failed Us. That's right, another video about how YouTube is stepping on the little guy. But wait, don't click away yet. I've seen quite a few videos like this myself, and I know how many of them end up. I don't want to disappoint you like that. And this video is just as much for viewers as it is for creators. See, I'm a creator at heart. I'm a gamer because my artistic abilities and my patience to train them are both nil. But I can play games. I enjoy it, and I want to share the things that I see and do in games. But I won't try to win you over by saying that it's all about the love of creation. That's a lie. The truth is, I saw YouTube as a way for me to make some cash while being a stay-home dad to supplement my wife's income. See, I became a YouTube partner in 2007. My first video ever was a very poorly made AMV in 2006. I never tried to monetize that video because I didn't know about monetization. But then I learned about it and copyrights all at once and didn't even try on that video because, well, I knew. Alright, it is on my channel though, but don't go looking for it unless you hate yourself. Seriously, it's bad. The point is, I've been a partner for a decade with not one single strike against me. Not one. And now, I'm losing the partner status. Why? Because I don't meet either of the new thresholds imposed on us by YouTube. Now, too many of us have received this email that you see right here. I've tried to zoom in a little bit so you can read it for yourself, but I am also going to read it. Or parts of it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I can very quickly summarize it for you. It says, "You're fired." Seriously. That's it. Really? It's basically if you don't have 1,000 subscriptions, and 4,000 hours, not minutes, but hours of view time in the last 365 days. Not last year, but from the current date back 365 days. If you don't have 4,000 hours of view time in that time, you lose your partnership status and the benefits that come with it. Okay? You've got until February 20th to meet that deadline. Or meet those thresholds, rather. So, really, way too many of us have received this email. This is absurd that they're doing this. Now, this bottom link down here is the short and bitter, not sweet, version of what this one says. This one right here is the long-winded lie. We're going to take a look at that long-winded lie. I went ahead and clicked on it. Here it is over here. Now let me give it a little bit of a zoom here so we can take a look at it. This this is the solution that Neil Mahon, I don't know, Mahon, is trying to say is the best solution. So we're going to take a look at this, and I'm going to go through here little by little, and I'm going to explain what this means. A lot of the creators already understand this. They've all seen this, and some are angry, some are despairing. Don't quit. Okay? Don't quit YouTube just because of this. Alright? I thought that too. I saw all this, I read this, and I saw what was happening, and that was my first thought, was it's over. My YouTubing is done. Alright? But hold off on that. I want you to hear what I have to say. For the viewers of YouTube channels, let me explain to you what is happening here. Alright? It says, 2017 marked a tough year for many of you, with several issues affecting our community and the revenue earned from advertising through the partnership program. It's not several issues. That's the first lie. The first lie is it is two people. Say their names, you know who they are. You're angry, you're upset, everything's falling apart. You want to blame somebody? Guess what? This is one of those super rare times that there is somebody to blame. PewDiePie and Logan Paul. These two people have screwed the rest of us over. They did this to us. Not YouTube, not the advertisers, not the small creators. Okay? It's these two big names. And it even gets referenced here. The timing of this letter itself and the previous incident. It perfectly coincides with what has happened already. Alright? Let's see here. As Susan mentioned in December, we're making changes to address the issues that affected our community in 2017 so we can prevent bad actors such as PewDiePie and Logan Paul from harming the inspiring and original creators around the world who make their living on YouTube. Okay, if you didn't already know, alright, some of you probably don't know. You might not have even heard of PewDiePie. He was the biggest name of YouTube. Now he's still one of the biggest names, despite what he's done. And it might not seem like that big of a deal, but to creators, it is. PewDiePie had riddled his videos with racial slurs and anti-Semitic jokes that he thought was hilarious. Okay, to each his own. He wants to be a racist Nazi scumbag, that's on him. The problem is, he was putting that in his videos, and his videos were monetized, which means that advertisers' ads were ending up on his videos with that crap on them. Okay, that is what was so bad about it. The advertisers freaked out. And back in April of 2017, to appease the advertisers, don't read this exactly, listen to my words, an eligibility requirement of 10,000 lifetime views was imposed on YouTubers. This was just to make the advertisers happy so that they didn't all run away after what PewDiePie was spouting on his channel. Alright? The problem is, with how high he is in rank, this 10,000 lifetime views didn't even faze him. It didn't mean anything to him. He gets that in half an hour, alright? Never mind lifetime. Now, me on the other hand, I was sweating that one. But then I realized that that AMV that I mentioned earlier had already covered that for me. So I didn't have to worry about it. You know who did get affected by it? The new channels. The people who were just starting out. They didn't know anything about PewDiePie. They didn't know what he had done. Nothing. And all of a sudden they lost their monetization. And it's just because of this right here. It didn't affect the person who did it. It affected the newcomers. The people who had nothing to do with it. Alright. Now, coming down to this next one. This one. This is amazing to me. Starting today, we're changing the eligibility requirement for monetization to 4,000 hours of watch time within the past 12 months and 1,000 subscribers. Okay? For me, that means that I need 800 more subscribers and 2,500 more watch time hours. Alright, how do we get to that? Let's figure this out real quick. 4,000 hours is basically if I make one 30-minute video every single day for 365 days, and every single day, 22 people watch that video from start to finish, I'll meet the requirement. I'll be in the clear. But what if I don't make a 30-minute video? What if my video is only 10 minutes long? Then every day, I would need 66 people to watch the entire video each day. Now, I keep emphasizing entire video, because the reality is the average view duration of videos is less than 50%. All of you creators that are watching this, why don't you hop on over to your analytics page and take a look. See for yourself. It's very rare that a video has a higher than 50% average view time. So, it seems like, okay, 66 people every day out of how many people in the world? It's not that hard. Okay, how many thousands of YouTube creators are there? Can you even guess? I can't. I have no idea. And time is finite. There's only so much time in the day, and we're entertainers, not necessities. So people watch us when they're bored, when they need to be entertained. So we have to be better than the other options that are out there to watch. It's not that easy. It's pretty difficult, actually. Now it says, we've arrived at these new thresholds after thorough analysis and conversation with creators like you. Excuse me? Nobody talked to me. If you'd talked to me, I'd have told you what you could do with these new thresholds. Alright? And you'll have to forgive me. I am trying very hard not to swear while I'm reading this. But I will be perfectly honest, I have read this at least a dozen times, and it makes me angry every time I read it. Because it is a load of crap. Every last bit of it. They will allow us to significantly improve our ability to identify creators who contribute positively to the community and help drive more ad revenue towards them and away from bad actors. Okay, well, your bad actors, we've already identified them earlier. Okay? So, that's who you're supposed to be taking this away from. But this requirement right here, you're taking the ad revenue away from the new guys or the small channels. And you're giving it to the big guys who are causing the problems. This is not fixing anything. It's not addressing what the real issue is. The real issue is you have those big guys that forget who they are. They forget how much influence they have and how much exposure they have. And then they go and create a huge scandal like Logan Paul and his joking in Suicide Forest over there in Japan. And then his I'm only apologizing because I have to apology afterwards. Seriously? These are the guys that you want? You don't want people who are actually trying to make good content because they want to get ad revenue? I don't understand this. Okay? On February 20th, 2018, we'll also implement this threshold across existing channels on the platform to allow for a 30-day grace period. On that date, channels with fewer than the 1,000 subs or 4,000 watch hours will no longer be able to earn money on YouTube. When they reach the thresholds, they will be automatically re-evaluated under strict criteria to ensure they comply with our policies. Now, think about that for a second. Just let that sit for a minute. Basically, what you're saying is if we rush through and we push the envelope and we get our subs and our watch hours and we make it in the clear, we're not going to be evaluated under this strict criteria. Does that seem right to you? the people who are already in don't get evaluated? Isn't that what caused this problem to begin with? You weren't evaluating PewDiePie's videos to hear the things he was saying before you put ads on it? Because these thresholds don't mean anything to him or Logan Paul. So, what is this strict criteria? Why are you applying it to people who haven't done anything? Why don't you take a look instead at the people who are highest risk? The ones who have already made their money. Who are making the six-figure incomes. Here I am, just trying to make a buck. And these guys who are making money hand over fist are getting away with this crap. Alright? Now this paragraph right here. Though these changes will affect a significant number of channels, 99% of those affected were making less than $100 per year in the last year. That is not the point. That is not the point at all. We are trying to build our channels. And that $100 paycheck, that first $100, that's our first goal. That's what we're aiming for. Okay? And we're trying to get to that. And now you're taking that chance away from us. You're saying, you got up to $78. Guess what? We're just going to pay you out. Now you're done. Because you don't reach these thresholds. You're never going to reach that $100 mark. With 90% earning less than $2.50 in the last month. Can anybody tell me what last month was? That's right, it was December. Christmas, the slowest month for YouTubers out of the entire year. So we're going to take a sample based off of the absolute worst time of the year for YouTubers, and that's what we're going to base our decision on. Are you kidding me right now? I don't understand this. And their compromise is that they will pay what you've already earned. So if you've earned $38 so far, you'll get that. But you're not earning a penny more. Not until you meet these requirements up here. So, Anyway, we're going to move on. Of course, size alone is not enough to determine whether a channel is suitable for monetization. So we'll continue to use signals like community strikes, spam, and other abuse flags to ensure we're protecting our creator community from bad actors. Okay, here's the problem. You have a creator like me. I am a gamer. Every single video on my channel, with the exception of this one and my very first one, are all gaming videos. I don't talk about politics. I don't talk about controversial issues. I don't talk about race. Nothing. I don't talk about any of that stuff. I talk about the game I'm playing, and that's it. I have 0 strikes against me. I do not spam. I don't have abusive language. I might let 1 or 2 profane words slip, but I never drop the F-bomb. I don't use racial slurs. So, I do not fall into this category. The only reason that I'm getting kicked out is because I don't reach the numbers requirement. That's not very fair, is it? There are a ton of people in the same situation. There are thousands of YouTubers that they just want to get that $100, so they're doing everything they can to not get strikes. They're making sure their videos are clean and good quality, and they're just trying to get this $100. But they're getting cut out. Why? This doesn't make any sense to me. Alright? So, while this change will tackle the potential abuse of a large but disparate group of small smaller channels, we also know that the bad action of a single large channel can also have an impact on the community and how advertisers view YouTube. So you admit right here, a single large channel has done this. But you're still not tackling that issue. You're going after the little guys. Why? If anything, advertisers have become aware that the big guys are the problem. So they don't want their ads on the big guys' videos. And they can see that the little guys are trying to do everything right. So they would want their ads on our videos. I'm trying to wrap my mind around this, and I can't. It doesn't fit. Okay? One of YouTube's core values is to provide anyone the opportunity to earn money from a thriving channel. Well, you just snuffed that out. You're contradicting yourself right here. Seriously? So, basically, this Neil Mohan, or Moen, or whatever, this genius right here, couldn't figure out what my 12-year-old figured out. Because I went to my 12-year-old to explain to him what happened. I presented to him the situation. It's like, okay, so who knows? I have 3 kids. I was like, who knows who PewDiePie is? 2 of them raised their hands. The 12-year-old didn't. Amazingly, the oldest one did not know who PewDiePie is. Alright. Then I asked, who knows who Logan Paul is? Again, the 2 younger ones seem to know who this dude is. I'm biting my tongue on that one. So I was like, okay. And I explained what happened. That PewDiePie made some racial slurs and some really bad taste jokes in his videos. And he uploaded them, and then the advertisers saw that his videos had these things in them and their ads on his videos, and they got upset. So YouTube went and did the 10,000 views thing. And all 3 of my kids, the youngest one is 8 years old, all 3 of them understood that there was something wrong with that. 10,000 views? The 8-year-old said, but doesn't he get that many in an hour? How does my 8-year-old understand that that is not a solution? Okay? So then I explained the Logan Paul thing. I was like, Logan Paul, he made some bad jokes about a person who had killed himself in a forest. And he laughed about it. And when the advertisers saw their ads on his video, they got upset again. So YouTube decided that the solution was to raise the thresholds to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch time hours. This time my oldest is the one that spoke up. He said, but doesn't he have like millions of subscribers? I said, yes, he does. Which means this doesn't do anything to him either. It doesn't affect him. Now, do you want to know why? The reason that the little guys are getting punished and Paul Logan and PewDiePie are getting a slap on the wrist in comparison. Here it is, plain and simple. Every time an ad is viewed, YouTube gets paid a certain amount from the advertisers. They give a fraction of that to the YouTuber. Their biggest earners are PewDiePie and Logan Paul. They can't punish them because then they would lose most of their profits. So in order to make the advertisers happy, they have to bring down the hammer on somebody. That means it falls on us. Well, guess what, YouTube? I have a solution for you. And you're going to love this one. It's brilliant. First of all, this idea of the thresholds, it's not a bad idea, but you went too far with it. 2 years, and I just barely have under 200 subscribers, okay? If you put this threshold at, say, 250, a quarter of that, all right? Your spammers and your content stealers that you're worried about, they're not going to get 250 subs. Okay? And then the 4,000 hour, drop that down to 1,000, a quarter of what that is. Because again, your spammers and your content stealers aren't going to get that much view time. Alright? It's not going to be worth it to them. And it's going to weed them out. So having the thresholds, good idea. You went too far with it. Way too far. Okay? Now, as far as how to handle situations like PewDiePie and Logan Paul, and really anybody at all on the YouTube.com who does something that upsets the advertisers, add a clause to your terms of service. That's all you gotta do. Just a paragraph this size. That's all it is. Seriously. All it has to say is something along the lines of, if you cause damages to an advertiser through the content on your video, then you will be held financially liable. You have to pay damages to the advertiser. Basically, a fine. Instead of the slap on the wrist, you don't get any more revenue. No, take it back. Whenever PewDiePie went and offended the advertisers with his racial slurs, fine him and give the money to the advertisers. Now we're square. But you didn't negotiate for YouTubers. You negotiated for your money makers. Thanks. We appreciate that.